Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about how to make your fragrance last longer. I'm sure we've all had the experience of finding a fragrance that you absolutely love and then being incredibly disappointed because it just doesn't last. For me, that fragrance is Jo Malone Wood Sage and Sea Salt, and I just love the fragrance and it will not last. So if you guys are new here and you're into fragrances, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll know every time I release a new video. And we are going to get into how to make your fragrance last longer. So the first tip obviously is to apply your fragrance to clean skin. When your body has the natural oils, it doesn't allow the fragrance to absorb into the skin. It kind of repels it and draws it away from the skin, and the fragrance doesn't get a chance to shine. So if you wash your skin and apply that non-long lasting fragrance to clean skin, it will definitely last longer. The next tip is to moisturize before applying your fragrance. So again, you get out of your shower, you apply the moisturizer, preferably if you can get the same fragrance, or if you want to play around and use any other moisturizer and put that on your skin. Having moisture in your skin allows the fragrance to lock in and stay. That's why in the drier months, like the colder, drier months, like in the winter and in the fall, we tend to go towards fragrances that are heavier, sweeter, a bit more dense, because in those months, the humidity is low. The fragrances that will last are the ones that are quite heavy, and we have the association of using those fragrances in the cool months. In the summer, when humidity is high and our skin locks in a lot of moisture, those fragrances become very overpowering, and instead in the summer and in the hot months, we use those light, citrusy, fresh, kind of lighter fragrances, because that's when they really get a chance to shine. So moisture in the skin is very important. In the winter, again, applying the moisturizer will help a lot, or if your skin tends to be drier like mine, my skin is very dry, so I need to moisturize a lot because fragrances don't stick to my skin because of how dry it is. The next tip would be to layer with a certain fixative, like a molecule fixative, a synthetic fixative. This will change the fragrance a little bit. It will add certain like woody nuances, a little bit of a synthetic effect, but things like Iso E Super and Ambroxan are things that are added, like synthetics that are added into a fragrance that help the fragrance last and help the fragrance project. So if you do it on your own, and let's say you want to layer with Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, or Molecule 01. Those fragrances will alter the scent of your fragrance, but usually not in a bad way. Usually you just come up with a very unique combination and they will help your fragrance project quite a bit. And the other thing is when you apply your fragrance, when you spray on your wrists, behind your ears, behind your neck, wherever that you like to spray, especially on your wrists, do not rub your wrists together. This breaks down the fragrance, the actual compounds of the fragrance. It deteriorates it, and then the fragrance basically falls apart and it doesn't last. If you just spray and you leave it, just don't even dab it. Just spray and leave it. Spray on your other wrist and leave it. Don't rub, don't touch. It just breaks the fragrance apart. So that'll help your fragrance last. The other thing is finding an oil version of your fragrance. This one can be a little bit controversial, and I am by no means a supporter of clones or dupes or copies, but oil fragrances have a place in my heart because they offer something that a typical fragrance can't. So for example, with Wood Sage and Sea Salt, it just won't last. I guess the way that the fragrance is made, plus the fact that it's a cologne and the ingredients themselves are not lasting, plus with an alcohol base, it doesn't really have a lot of potential to last. However, if you can find an oil version like I have, so this is the Fragrance Shop. These are not even cheap. This is the Fragrance Shop, and this is Wood Sage and Sea Salt right here. So The oils perform differently. So these are great alternatives for people who have sensitivities to the alcohols and the chemicals in a regular fragrance. These are oil-based, so they won't cause that irritation. If your skin is very sensitive and can react to alcohol, it likely won't react to the oil fragrances. They don't have that harsh opening the way that an alcohol-based fragrance does. These ones, they just smell exactly like the fragrance off the bat. Like after you wait for that alcohol bit to go away, that's what the oils smell like. So this is a one-to-one, exactly the same as Wood Sage and Sea Salt Jo Malone. And you can layer it with the actual fragrance or you can use it on its own. The amazing thing that I find with the oils is they actually last a really long time because of the depth of the oil. Like it's an actual perfume oil. All of my perfume oils last me an entire day, at least 6 to 7 hours. Sometimes I can smell them the next day. They're very potent. They're very easy to overuse because they are quite dense in the fragrance. They're quite saturated in the fragrance. So that's a really great alternative. I can do a separate video covering my whole oil fragrance collection. If you guys are interested in that, please leave me a comment down below. And I will do a video showing you all my whole oil collection and explaining the advantage and how they compare to the real fragrance. Obviously, it's not the same as having the real fragrance, but it does help, especially with certain fragrances that suffer from longevity issues. The oils don't have that problem. So the one that I have here is the Fragrance Shop. And the other one that I have is the Perfume People, and this is a UK brand, and a Canadian brand is Oil Perfumery. So if you guys just Google any of those, or I can link them for you down below, like there's a lot of options. They have a lot of designer and niche, so you can check that out if you're interested. And another tip is to always spray your clothes and undergarments. Spraying on your undergarments is close to your body heat, so when the fragrance is heated, like it resonates more. So spraying onto your undergarments will help the fragrance project and last. And also, I don't know why, but fragrances last a lot longer on fabric. We all know this, spraying clothing, spraying scarves, jackets, that fragrance isn't going anywhere. So the fragrance that you have that doesn't last, if you spray it on an article of clothing or an undergarment, it will stay. And finally, just make sure that you always store your fragrances in a cool, dry place, somewhere that doesn't have high humidity. So don't store them in a bathroom, and make sure that the temperature doesn't fluctuate. So like something like a steady, cool place. I also don't keep my fragrances in the fridge. I just find a cooler room in the house and keep them in the closet and away from sunlight. That way they retain the best quality that they can and they'll last you the longest, and keeping them in a good condition will allow them to perform the very best that they can. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other tips or tricks to help make your fragrance last longer, please leave a comment down below. I hope you guys found this helpful, and please give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.